Yep, we are live now.
Welcome back again to Vyapaar Jagat TV. And here we are online discussing the major problems and the major subjects where the entrepreneurs can get the best guidance to on the journey of his business and the entrepreneur skills. Now, uh, innovation and research are the two major backbone to keep the business going on. So that is why we made a note about this major backbones, and we are moving to the next session of importance of innovation and research. We have the queen of words with us, who is a juggler, and she is known as the wordpreneur, and she has her own two companies where she shares all her knowledge about branding and strategy with the word game. I can call her the queen of word game, as words play a core difference, hitting and creating the impact of one's brand and product. And who could be doing that much better than Miss Neha Wade? Ma'am, please welcome on the show, and I would like you to take the charge of the show with Miss Geeta Patel and Debanwita Sen.
All right. Thank you so much, Jalpan, for that lovely introduction. Hi, guys. This is Neha Ved, word prana. I'm a content strategist by performance by profession. And I have founded Penley Media, a creative content studio, which focuses exclusively on brand story and profile building. And I'm also the founder of BNB and Civil growth programs, focusing on personal growth or business growth, essentially mentorship and coaching avenues. So that's a nutshell of the past 18 years of my career, and extremely excited to be leading this session today with Debanwita and Geeta ji, because we are going to be discussing the importance of research and innovation, especially for startups. I think it's been an integral part of our journey. It's been a very integral part of what I do. And I'm sure a lot of startup owners or people who are looking to begin their business journey are going to benefit from our conversation. So before we move ahead, let me quickly introduce our panel members. We have with us Debanwita Sen, who has made a tremendous impact in astrological circles in a short period of about 8 years. She is an astrologer and life coach who has a strong intuitive nature, and her scientific and logic-based analysis has helped her gain this success in such a short span. She is available online and offline with her predictions, which are accurate irrespective of the medium that she chooses to communicate with. So with this ability, she has guided people make the right choice in education, career, finance, and other fields, which is exactly why she has managed to gain such a large fan base with her blogs, her videos, her YouTube channel, and her online presence. Her expertise in astrology, palmistry, and Vastu has benefited a lot of people. And I think today's conversation will be very exciting, because innovation in this space, in this field, is something that is really relevant to help survive in the field of astrology and Vastu, which are known as alternate sciences, even palmistry. So we will be speaking with Debanwita. Welcome, Debanwita, to the panel.
Thank you so much, Nehaji.
And we also have with us Ms. Geeta Patel, who is the founder of Geetapatelsacademy, GPA. Here they offer you diploma and certificate courses in interior design, and they help you strengthen your special areas and knowledge in special areas for graphic design in kitchen, bathroom. And apart from that, they also offer NSDC-certified courses in design, because the Institute is a training center for these certificate courses. Geeta ji herself has been an interior designer for the past 2 decades, and strongly believes in practical approach of training. And I think that is one of the most important aspects of learning, because what you learn through books cannot hold true unless you implement it in reality, which is exactly how she's bringing about a change in the education system. This is I think, the innovation that she brings to the field by offering practical training. And it will be wonderful to also have a conversation with her on how innovation and research has helped her further in the field along with her students. So welcome, Geeta ji, to this panel discussion.
Thank you so much, Nehaji.
All right. So moving on with our panel discussion on research and innovation and why it is important, especially for business success. Now, of course, we all know that, innovation is extremely important, especially when we have to stay relevant. So let's open this panel discussion with what innovation means to each of you to begin with, because I think that's exactly where the success of, our businesses also lie. So, Geetaji, let's begin with you.
As you earlier told that I have brought an innovation in the education system, you can say. So I believe that practical knowledge is much more needed. That innovation is necessary in each and every criteria. It is not in my sector itself. It is in each and every sector. Like you said, you are a wordpreneur. Unless you don't do that practically, if it is on the written book, if one has to read that this is how you need to do these things, your purpose is not solved. Actually, you have to have it practically. So that is needed. And research, of course, day by day, whatever we are doing, suppose we are doing, I'm an interior designer, I cannot stick to one part. I need to research and research and research, and I need to bring about new ideas so that I can give different taste to the clients also. So research is also the most important thing in your startup. Yeah.
Correct. So, in fact, innovation is something that also helps you stay ahead of the competition. And as you rightly said, practical training is, I think, something that definitely gives the student an edge, because when they are out there on the field, and they are seeing things, they are able to actually come up with more relevant solutions through the work that they are doing. And I completely resonate with that, because when I was studying journalism, my module and my diplomas were also designed in a way where we would have our classroom learning, but every assignment was what happened on field, and we were graded on those on-field assignment, in fact, on a daily basis. So, before we entered the field, I think we were really prepared for the field, and which is why the students who passed out with me, we are really doing way better than a lot of the other students we've seen. So, Debanwita.
To me, innovation is a practical implementation of ideas that result in introduction of growth and services or improvement in offering goods and service. Actually, due to the current COVID crisis, economies across the globe are showing very much contradiction. But many are considering this as an opportunity to launch innovative products and solutions. So astrology can help significantly in the startups towards the success. The science of astrology, which lets us know that if we possess an acumen to carry our business and the type of business which which is very much potential for and also beneficial and profitable for a person as well, which can also be determined by planetary positions also from the horoscope. So there is no denial in hard work, innovation, and experimentation that builds an entrepreneur. So in this way, innovation helps me to conduct my business and go forward and or move forward as well.
Right. So for you, innovation is a growth tool for your business as well as for the success of the clients who consult with you.
Yes.
That would be your definition and the utility of innovation for you.
Yes.
In fact, even in the general world, when we look at it, innovation is something that, if used well, especially when combined with technology, it actually creates exponential growth for the business. Of course, it comes with a risk of having a precise planning, scheduling, expense management, and there could be a bit of instability because, technology can have its own setbacks. But when these tools are actually utilized well to their advantage, they actually give you a lot of edge. And one of the important key to that is the fact that you need to learn. And learning does not happen unless you study, which is basically doing research. So I would love to understand that when you all chose to, take a particular path and do something different, what kind of research went in being able to identify that this is what's going to work for me and this is a little different than what other people in my field are doing? It's like a niche that you're carving for yourself. What kind of research did you put in here, to identify the niche, and what methods did you employ to identify this niche? I'm going to go with Geeta ji again first. Geeta ji, you've gone on mute, Geeta ji.
I'm into this field working with my projects of residential commercial from last 20 years. So of course, we were doing all that orthodox way of planning and all. When I was doing, I have done manual projects also when we did not have that much computer-aided programs. So first thing which I did was I learned the computer technology, which made my work very easy. So after that, going through the process, I found the interns which came up to me were not that educated in the practical knowledge. Because of that, I had to train them for 6 months, 9 months, and after that they were able to do my could help me in my projects. So then the idea came to my mind, if I have to train them for 6 months, 9 months, let us not put forward my institute where I can train them perfectly and make them market ready. So that is the idea I got from. And I started my institute. That is from last 7 years I'm running it. This is the main click idea. Yeah. Second thing, I thought that, see, ultimately what the students are going to do, they are going to do the same what I'm going to do, I'm doing in my project. So let's make my project process the curriculum. So that is how I made the innovation. And I saw that there is nobody around my place. You can say at least in Ahmedabad, I'm not researched in, I need to research it far more also because I need to go pan India also. But in Ahmedabad, nobody is giving what I'm giving in innovative way. I'm giving everything practical base, daily submission, as you said, you had everything on sites and everything that way. So that is how I started up. That clicked my mind, and this is the innovative idea I put forward in my startup.
Sure. So I completely understand where you're coming from because I'm based out of Mumbai, okay? And one of the innovations that we did at my creative content studio, Pendy Media, was that we are a completely network operated setup, which allows me to pick my team pan-India based on merit, which is why we have the culture of meritocracy. It doesn't matter what background, what degree you hold, as long as you have the ability to handle the kind of projects that we are working on. Yes. And you are most welcome to take an opportunity, which is why we also created the Unicontent internship program, where students, who are looking at starting their career or they want to supplement their education with, practical experience, are welcome to come and work with us on live projects along with the senior members of the team and learn on live projects, which allows them to go back with an internship that has created a lot of value. And we've had some of them graduate into being executives with us, So I guess you might say that, you don't know how things are happening in other parts of the country. But I completely resonate because this was something that even we did. I started about 4 years back with my program. And this was pre-COVID, in fact. And I think the way I designed my company and I designed this internship program and all, during COVID, we survived very well because our infrastructure was not dependent on a physical space. And at the same time, we also had a continuous supply of interns who were able to help handle projects. So there was never a shortage of manpower, And this is how I realized that though it was not thought to be a method of, unforeseen calamity because no one expected a pandemic to happen, it was a blessing in disguise because it was something that helped us survive when other organizations were struggling. So, yeah, I mean, and then the value it impacted, the value it created, it impacted so many lives. So the way you are also designing your education curriculum, I think it's creating a lot of value. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Debanwita.
Like I have started my journey in profession and also doing research course since 2019. So we in Astro Debanwita are doing research to check the accuracy of fundamentals of astrology, including yogas and remedies. Like in astrology, there are a lot of yogas in classics, and we find out those yogas firstly and further do research in a process. Like for example, for research purpose in astrology, we take a lot of sample horoscopes. Like for example, we take 200 sample horoscopes and put those yogas, apply those yogas in those horoscopes, and then find out what is the result, means which yoga is gets applied maximum on each horoscope, and accordingly we find out new theories which we also apply in all the horoscopes with the on the further customers who comes to our business, which helps our business to grow more and predict their lives and also their future more accurately as well. And that's it.
Right. So no, I completely understand because it's a science after all, and it's a science of accuracy to as much as calculation as humanly possible. And I think which is why it's also a practice. It's something that you have to keep constantly looking at what you're doing, seeing whether you need to modify something, because obviously what holds true for one person won't hold true. And I have seen this field very up close and personal because my late mother-in-law herself was a astrologer and a Vastu expert. So I kind of know, how it impacts lives again. And what right now I'm observing is, while Geeta ji is in the space of interior, I'm in the space of brand communications, you're in the space of very personal connect with, Vastu and astrology. There is one thing that's absolutely common, is the impact that we are creating on human lives. It's not just about, helping further professions or businesses, because there's a direct personal connect that we have with a lot of people. And there's a lot of responsibility, especially what Debanwita just said, that they have to keep practicing and doing that research and seeing that what calculations we are doing, whether the yogs are, coming out right. Because if something were to not go right, there's a lot at stake for a lot of people because there's a lot of trust that they are coming with. And taking this point further about creating impact, I would love to understand through the innovation that you're trying to bring about, okay, what is a problem that you're focusing on that you are helping solve? And here by problem, I'm not speaking of, a very small view or a near view. I'm looking at a very larger picture in terms of problem at a societal level, problem at a business level, at a career level, basically at a much larger level, because there's a lot of impact that is being created. At the back of the mind, is there an intention of, a focal point? Actually, I would not use the word intention, but a focal point that this is something where we want to really solve the problem. Debanwita, let's hear from you.
Currently, for spending on research related purpose, actually the most problem which is involved is the dedication and also the time which is given, and cost is not much involved in it. except purchasing various books on classics where all the ancient yogas are given, and also getting knowledge from there as well. Particularly the application of yogas in numerous horoscopes and finding out the new theories takes a lot of dedication and also time given. Lot of time is given on it as well. Apart from that, we also try to solve the problems of the clients and provide accurate solution accordingly.
Okay. So yeah, I get that, there is a certain amount of effort being put in on the terms of the research that you're doing. But when we say that you would like to solve the problems of the client, obviously it's a part of, the work that you're doing. But at a larger level, is there a problem or a area that you would like to make further progress, more at a larger level in terms of as a community or at a societal level, where you feel that the kind of work that you're doing through astrology or through Vastu can help solve certain larger problems? Do you have any such larger problems in focus that you tend to consider?
Yes, I have a larger problem. Like there are many sections of the society, and there are also many people who are actually I fix a certain cost for providing my service, and there are also people who cannot provide that cost. So in that case, I look at their horoscopes and also find out that they genuinely need that solution as well. So if they need that solution genuinely, then sometimes I provide them at a lot of discount my service, and also at times I provide it free of cost if they need it genuinely.
Okay. So I think I would put this into perspective by saying that Debanwita is trying to also provide a bit of economic relief for people who would like to use astrology or Vastu as a solution to their problems, but would not be probably able to afford it. And that is her way of using innovation towards those problems. I get that. Geetaji, your take on this, please.
Yeah, actually, see, the education system, what we have is really the old age ka zamane se the Britishers gave us, and we are implementing on the same path. This year we have got the NEP system, so thanks to Narendra Modi ji for that. He has taken a step forward. Actually, there should be a 30-70 ratio. Yeah, I don't say that there should not be theory. Theory 30%, 70% practically. If that module comes into action, so we don't need to take any action. We need to just follow the path. That is the innovation which the country has to take forward. But then someone has to start somewhere. So the same thought process into mind that of course practical knowledge leke you can do that, because 10 plus 2 plus 3, that is the criteria of a person who needs to get graduation. So that is a mandatory path which we need to follow. But after graduation, what? After graduation, they need to do something else. They need to go for some post graduation. They need to go from some skill program. They need to go some entrepreneurship. So ultimately, they are utilizing their 5 to 7 years. And the same thing, what we do is after 10th or after 12th, I don't say that you should skip your 12th. That is a basic part. That is a decisive part of your career. So I will not allow any student to tell that I'll skip my 12th. 12th is the basic part. But after that, you opt any program. Along with that, you can do my program and you can build a nice career in this path. I'm not telling about my individual part, but each and every person who is into skill programs or professionalism or correspondence program, they should also look into this format, so that when they get graduate, before that they start their career.
Right.
So by the time they have utilized their 5 years, they will be master in their specific criteria. So they will save their money also, and they will save their the youth time is the most precious part. So I believe that should be saved. So in 5 years they will become masters.
Lovely. So it would it be right to say that the main area that you're trying to create impact is giving them a lot of relevant education that is useful for them to build their career and live
Yes.
a good life and a successful life, because a lot of the education system has tools which are, you learn them, but you don't know how to really apply them. And the way you are designing the education system and curriculum through your academy is basically being able to impact the students to have real life skill sets, on ground ability.
Yeah.
Neha,
Wonderful.
I'm sorry to interrupt you here.
Yeah.
But when when we were talking about designing and designing the students' career over here, it reminds me of Mr. Neeraj Shah from IDEO. We had a guest of honor this morning, and I can see him listening to our conversation here. And he designs the strategies and ideas of business, and he had shared a lot of knowledge here. Can we add them? And Mr. Neeraj, are you hearing us? If you would like to join us for this discussion about innovation and research, it would be a pleasure to have more knowledge after Geeta ma'am and Debanwita here. Mr. Neeraj, are you here?
Yeah, thank you so much. I know. But I was in and out, so I didn't catch much of it. So I hope it's not going to eat away into somebody else's time.
No, that's okay. You can be here, and we do even have Dr. Shilpa Chavan. So even she has imparted a lot of knowledge on this particular pick lines of innovation and research part. So Shilpa ma'am, are you there? And if you want to join the conversation here in this session regarding innovation and research, you can please join in, ma'am.
Hi, Neeraj. Hi.
Yeah. So Neeraj, please share your knowledge. Even you are welcomed in this session of innovation and research, because we have two designers here. We have astrologer here, and we have the queen of words here with us, who is moderating this session. Please make yourself comfortable between these three ladies. If you don't mind that, you will have a wonderful time in discussion as well.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for just kind of bringing me in. And I'm glad that I'd kept it on, even if I was kind of engaged with a few other things. I didn't catch the conversation completely, but what I got out of the last bit that Geeta Patel was talking about. So I think this was also discussed earlier when we were opening this entire chat and today's day. The amount of effort in general in India, everything is about that little discussion that people have within their friends, circle, and family. And any endorsement of an idea that happens within that small circle seems to be the biggest idea. Right? So it's completely a frog in the well kind of a situation. Only thing is that some people believe that their wells are big, and then that's good enough, and that's the entire Jagat, But that's not the entire Jagat. The entire world is much, much larger, and the reality is different. So I think before innovation happened, so there are two aspects here. One is research and the other is innovation. And both of them are not necessarily one after the other. They can interchange, and they need to constantly keep interchanging, is what we've realized. So you may start with just a basic idea, and it's still not innovation. You go into research in order to really understand whether that particular idea is plausible or not. Right? Possibility, nahi, but in terms of its plausibility, in terms of its feasibility, in terms of its workability. And workability who for the user. And I think that's the reason Jalpan kind of just threw this on to me, because I was talking about not being customer centric, but user centric. And that's what we learn in design, that it's user centric. So very often the innovation can happen when it is backed by research. And the research in India is in general poor, right? To actually have professional agencies come in to do a proper survey has been poor. Now today it is much easier because we've got, you can share a Google sheet and, you can have, people fill out forms and etc. But earlier, I remember in our school and college days, we used to actually make 1 rupee per form. So we used to actually get these things from, large ad agencies or marketing and research organizations. And we used to actually go out and, meet people on the streets or go door to door or meet people who we know within that target audience to understand in terms of the product is going to work or not. Old method. There are new systems, but the amount of research has reduced a lot. So we think that we have a lot of data analytics already happening. I think so. The insistence on research is definitely much higher. The innovation bit, we think of everything as being innovation or innovative. For the sake of innovation, it's not correct. Very often, a lot of people try and do those things only because they believe that, okay, I can kind of better it. We call that redesign. It's not a startup. The idea is not a startup idea. The idea is a business idea. And you're not the first mover. You're riding onto something else. Not bad. Even that can be treated as a startup. What we have understood and misunderstood today is the overall word startup. So I don't know if I'm being able to, add anything to this conversation, jumping in right in between. But, Neha, you could, sorry, I'm very interesting here. I'm completely about words. I'd love to kind of, chat up with you some other time. What exactly is a word from here? And so I have a separate creativity workshop, and my undergraduate thesis was on metaphors in design, and where concepts, where concepts in general, so it was basically semantics and semiotics related, where every word is a representation of a concept. And then you do innovation or creativity, I won't say innovation, but creativity through combining unrelated words to create a new concept which does not actually exist. So sometimes your imagination is a very visual and memory and external stimuli based, correct? And which may vary from people to people. But when you use external tools like these, and there are so many, words play a very, very important part in terms of creating that aha moment. So we'll definitely get in touch there. I think that's a lot from me. Let me kind of listen.
No, I think it was a valuable insight. And yes, we will definitely reconnect, and I would be happy to explore synergies for sure. I think the inputs that you just gave are quite in sync with what we were discussing, because we were basically discussing on, what kind of research went into being identifying the niche that they wanted to create an innovation for. And what you said, one of my biggest takeaways right now from your inputs is the fact that India has definitely changed to the point where we are doing a lot of research in the fact that before we give an innovation into the market, we give something to the people, we are actually making an effort to understand what the people want. I think the keyword that's become very rampant for the current times is relevant. Everybody wants to do something which is very, very relevant. And I personally hold the opinion that the pandemic has made people actually think up and innovate a lot more, because we experienced something that we never had even anticipated experiencing. We've seen illness, we've seen a lot of deaths, we've seen riots, we've seen a lot of calamities, we've seen floods, we've seen tsunamis, but nobody thought a disease that we did not know even existed would come and impact the world so drastically that survival will make us come up. I think the old adage, that necessity is the mother of invention, has never rung truer than in the past 2-3 years. And very rightly said, the consumer's needs have changed. So when we are coming forth with, whether it's a service, whether it's a product, a lot of research needs to go into the fact that what are we going to give the consumers, and what is the need of that consumer, and what need are we going to address with what we are offering them. And that's how we are able to innovate. And I'm going to also use the word wordpreneur here as an example, okay, because I know you mentioned you would like to know about it, but while we are speaking, it's relevant again. So I'm going to explain that wordpreneur basically means an entrepreneur in the business of words. And because I did not want to be in a very confined image that, oh, she's doing content writing, so that's what her team will be doing. Oh, she does brand communication, so it's not a very defined one-dimensional space. It's defined as a sector, but it's not defined as a space because we are limitless. And as an entrepreneur in the business of words, because I also wear many hats, where I have a creative content studio, I have a consulting division, I have a mentoring division. I'm also a published author and poet. I mentor authors. I work with coaches. There's a lot of dimensions, but the commonality is that every business I am doing is connected with the space of words. And that's how wordpreneur was born. It is a trademark identity, which was also my innovation in terms of creating a brand identity, a personal brand. So, yeah, I did that research in, being able to identify that if I'm creating a content space, okay, what exactly are we going to do? And then are we going to let that space restrict us? And when I saw that the consumers who were out there who would be taking our services would actually be needing something which is out of the box, which is giving them something that the other people are not giving them. They do not want to be confined to the stereotypical ways of doing things. Wordpreneur identity was born.
Okay.
So I am elaborating because, what we were speaking, this comes as an example. Okay. And it also answers the question that you had raised, but more detailed conversations between Neeraj and me later, coming back to having continuing the conversation I was having with Geeta ji also. Geeta ji, Debanwita already mentioned to us, about the kind of expenses that go into research at her end. What kind of expenses have you incurred? Do you have an annual budget, or do you define it? How do you decide how much you want to spend on research? Because in today's times, businesses need to have a budget on research for sure.
Actually,
and Neeraj, we're going to come back to you also for inputs on the same point. Yeah. Yes, Geeta ji.
Yeah, of course, 10 to 15% of your income has to be kept aside for this same. So you should understand that I'm not earning that much. That 10 to 15% is kept aside because every now and then, I say every year, my curriculum gets changed. Every year I change my curriculum because every year we designing field is like a you can say ocean. So every year we have different criterias, add-ons. We keep on researching, we keep on developing, we keep on innovating things. We keep on taking up some challenges, and for that we need to have something fundings. So recently we have started one innovation, like we have got a crisis after the COVID. We are facing labor problems. So we have started up another setup with training skill programs in this labor class associated with the sector of this civil projects and interior projects like carpentry, masonry, electricians and all. So we are training them, and before Diwali we had trained a batch also. We have trained them successfully, and few of them have flown to abroad with a great placement also. So that is how we keep on doing things. But for that we need to have a workshop. We have invested in that. We have invested in the tools. We have invested in the safety parts and all. So we are keeping on moving, keeping on upgrading, you can say. As sir said, we cannot say it innovation. I'll say the word upgrading, updating, right, sir? So we are updating.
Even upskilling could probably be a relevant word as well over here.
So we are updating ourselves day by day, because design updates every day. We cannot say year by year again, day by day. So we are updating day by day. Yeah.
True. True, true. Neeraj, your inputs on, how much budget should be allocated or what kind of spends should be made for research? Because I think it's a very underestimated area when it comes to growth of a business and thereby the growth of a sector. Neeraj, you're on mute.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, in fact, I was going to, kind of just butt in a little earlier, and I'm glad that this point actually got brought out. See, when we are looking at a much larger picture and looking at a startup trying to do something, something relevant, as you said, yeah. The thing is that as soon as we start looking at different parts of the process, like say research being one major part, we start putting in a cost to it and think of that being expensive or inexpensive or less cost, more cost, or a budget. There are two things happening here. One is that one has to know that any investment in research, and I'm saying any, obviously it can't be like a lidless or a bottomless jar, but
Yeah.
it has to be substantial enough because one has to know that the cost of actually doing something, having more resources put in from people, technology, materials, prototyping, everything, it's much better to do a lot more research, which is today possible even as desk research to begin with. You can do a lot of desk research, collate a lot of things, and I'm telling you that a lot of ideas come in. We've seen a lot of good ideas that have come in through, through management programs, through schools, through, and students meaning, I'm saying at postgraduate level. And suddenly somebody within that team says that, oh, the professor or some mentors, they come and they say, oh, this is a great idea, you should kind of take this up. It's not enough.
Yeah.
It needs to be a lot more, beyond that, right? So the other thing that you were talking about was this whole idea of, innovating every day. And the fact is that we, again, make it very, very heavy for ourselves, both these words, research and innovation. So innovation every day, it is actually what Geeta Patel was talking about was this whole idea of experimentation. The whole idea of being ready to fail. And being ready to fail is not only a mindset. Being ready to fail is also means money, means cost. And that's what you are looking at. So the funding is required, but it's about what are you putting it at. A lot of people today, I see, and you must have come across, a lot of mentors have come across this with so many new ideas that come in, or people, groups, whatever, individuals. They're in a hurry. They're in a crazy hurry. The level of patience in general has reduced, correct? So the same amount of patience, research means patience. Research means that you haven't started. We call research -3. Only after your research is done, you've got a decent enough idea. You create that fabulous deck with crazy valuation of 5 years and 10 years hence, which is crap, because you've not done your basic research. And we had this in one of the first discussions. In fact, this young boy Vedant, he was talking about just that vacuum robo, and they thought that bringing that vacuum robo, doing it at a lower cost in India is going to work. After even doing that, they realized that it was not about the affordability of a robo. It was because people had a lot of conceptions about cleaning, or there were different ideas in terms of how one cleans a house in America versus how one cleans here. And if that maid is not coming in or house help is not coming in, then or you're going to let go of that housemaid. It's not only the cleaning that is happening by that individual. You're feeding a family, their emotions attached, as well as they end up doing more than just cleaning. Why am I saying this is that if there was enough research done before this, and which is also what this young boy was trying to talk about, then you would have saved a lot more cost later. So research is that first -3, -2, -1 step. How much ever cost goes in, because there is going to be somebody to advise you in terms of how much. And I know that the patience is less. So anyways, you're not going to overdo it. There is nothing like overdoing research, right? You can overthink, but you can't do overdo.
Yeah.
Because research means there has to be analysis at the end of it. So how? I can't answer that question with a number in terms of how much is enough. But I'm telling you that people who are trying to do something and who believe that research is required will know when to stop. Correct?
Correct.
You can also, either you allot a budget, right? You allocate a budget, or you allocate time.
Yeah.
So time, budget, or resources. You say, okay, come what may, I've got these 10 people working on this because my startup has technology aspect, it has food aspect, for example, which means it's got taste and food and this and that, and it's also got beauty and brand. Now imagine it's got technology, food, beauty, and brand. Now all these, so that means you may need experts from all these three fields to come in and help you with that research or at least validate it for you. Right? So I think that research is important. How much ever you do is right. I mean, how much ever more you do is right. Knowing where you will start. So I won't put a cost to it directly because that cost is anyways lower than going wrong in another way, putting in more research. Yeah. So it saves you all that time and cost.
Yeah.
I mean, that was that one major point. And the other is, of course, that whole idea of experimentation. And this is what we fear. We fear going wrong. I mean, that's a human, thing. And we know that there have been so many examples where so many things have happened through failure. So one doesn't want to embrace it completely, obviously, because you don't start something to fail. But that whole ability of saying that this is not the end, it's a process. And in design, we know this as a matter of fact, which I'm sure, Geeta, you will be able to kind of endorse, is that fact that yes, design means that it is not the ultimate truth. You don't come to an ultimate goal in design. You don't. So it is a part of the process. Then you culminate based on user feedback. I hope this is some part to it.
Okay. So considering that, we also have a restriction on when we need to end the session, I am going to move into the aspect where I would love for all of you all to give me a quick advice or, a thought that we can leave our upcoming startup, upcoming aspiring entrepreneurs and the startups also which are growing, a thought on or an advice about the future and something that they can take away as, from this conversation, especially when it comes to research and innovation. I'm definitely going to put one-line summary of what Neeraj said is the fact that figure out what you can dedicate towards research, whether it is time, whether it's resource, or whether it's budget, whatever your business permits, but make sure that research is a part of your scheme of things. Because if there's no research, you'll never be able to create a solution or create an innovation that could truly, give you a cutting edge. But I'm going to quickly take about 30 seconds with each of y'all on giving me a point that we can leave our audiences with. Geeta ji.
Yeah, of course. As Sir said, that we need to figure out all the three aspects. But the main thing is the idea with these three things are associated. It can be anything. But then for that idea, you need to go backward. Like, see, everyone follows the people who are successful. It is not needed that person is successful, so I will be also successful. No, it is not so. The criteria over there were different. Here are different. Every person has their own ability. You need to find out that ability, work on that ability, do a research part, do the paperwork, projections, next 5-year projection, and after that only you need to start up your whatever the new startups you are working for, because then you will have that back foot again. So you need to work out on that parts. That is what I think.
Yeah. Debanwita.
My advice is to focus on research and innovative new ideas, and also use those ideas to help people to get their needs fulfilled, and also focus on the charges on services you provide as appropriate, under which the customers could be served with full dedication and efforts as well. This will also help to grow the business more faster and get established very smoothly.
Okay. Very sound practical advice. Neeraj, a quick parting advice.
So, going beyond research and innovation, I'll say something else which kind of connects to this. is because you said that a parting note or just one take home, which actually is related to for startups in general, right? For entrepreneurs. The biggest myth is entrepreneurship. Okay. If everybody becomes an entrepreneur, I don't know who's going to work for whom. So this is so at a lot of forums, I think this whole idea of being very jingoistic about entrepreneurship, I think it's crap. It's about aligning yourself with an idea, whoever it is. If you believe in it, you can align with it. We've been aligning with religions that we were born with, correct? I mean, without really a lot of us, without even having that sensibility, because you're born into it, you're kind of going ahead with it. It's all right, it's all right but that means that you need to know yourself much better. And for that constant research and innovation within yourself at the self level is very, very important, which is what enables you to be able to go there and find out what you can align with. If you don't have the strength to carry the entire mountain on your own, have another 4 people come together. If you have, been able to do that, then you're the leader. If somebody else did it and you think, okay, this is the mountain I want to move, go under it and hold it. I think it will work very well. So collaborations are the future.
Wonderful. And adding on to what you just said, Neeraj, this is my personal observation. You're absolutely right. If everybody tries to be an entrepreneur, who's going to do the work? But there are a lot of people who may not be owning businesses, okay? Because it's not necessary that a business owner is an entrepreneur, okay? And there are a lot of people who may not be owning businesses, but the enterprising attitude and nature and the acumen that they hold actually makes them entrepreneurs on a payroll, which helps the business owners take their business forward. And if somebody has that skill set and they are aligned with the vision of a company that they are a part of, whether they are salaried, whether they are holding a senior post, or they are a collaborator or an associate, I think that machinery, the company I would refer to in that case as a machinery, is sure to thrive and keep going forward and being propelled into the next level.
I agree. Sorry, Neha. I agree with that. I'm not denying that, because those kind of hierarchies, those kind of and
exactly
in design, architecture, or most professions since many years have worked on the associate model. So as you start growing, all the employees and non-employees, they come on an associateship, which means that there is already a stake. This whole stakeholdership has come in much later. But there, you're kind of responsible. And so all of that, leadership qualities, this, that, blah, blah. That structure exists. It's just an organization structure. The idea of introducing somebody as an entrepreneur suddenly in front of 4 people who are not puts the other 4 people down. And this is what in any casual forum or otherwise, even casual meetings, I make sure that each one is individually introduced with their own abilities. I mean, that's my own personal way of kind of, taking this ahead in a way so that you don't kind of, yes, of course, I'm not saying that the business owner or the entrepreneurial spirit, shouldn't be appreciated or lauded, but, making that so much of a hero kind of sometimes belittles many others, That's
All right. So here to summarize the last hour that we've been discussing, an hour that split it by like as if it was a couple of minutes, a few quick takeaways from the conversation. Make sure that you treat research as an important division of your business, whether you make it a separate wing or you allocate time and resources for research, but treat it as an important tool in the growth of your business, of the idea that you're trying to propagate and grow. Okay, it's an important growth tool. Do not underestimate it. If you think that you can carve a niche for yourself, stay relevant, very important. And most importantly, do not underestimate the power of the people who are working with you. I think it's a team that's going to be able to make it big, not a single individual. And this is us signing off from this session, telling all of you all one last thing, that keep researching and keep innovating, because the more you research, your innovations will be powerful. And the more powerful innovations you put out there, your machinery will be at the helm of change. We are a part of the Make in India mission. We are a part of a very, very growing machinery, which is our country. We are all small components of that. And Vyapaar Jagat as a platform has really been on the forefront of the Make in India mission. which is why I love coming here. I love interacting with the people. I love being associated with Praveenji. And to all your startup people, also even the business owners who may be around for a while. No, we're not talking about just people who are new startup owners or new to the business world. Research and innovation is the future if you want to get to the next level. So this is Neha Ved, Wordpreneur, signing off on this session. Thank you, Geeta ji. Thank you, Debanwita.
Thank you.
And thank you,
Thank you.
Neeraj,
Thank
for
you.
that guest appearance.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Neha.
Thank you. And even Neeraj was a wild card entry in this
Yeah.
particular section.
We came to know so many aspects from him. So,
Yeah, and I thought like the ladies need a man here who can put a fire on within us, and we learned a lot from him.
yeah.
Yeah, and even I learned that communicating, self-communication is much more important than to put it in the actions. Unless and until you don't communicate with yourself what you want to do, how you want to do, when that self-communication is not there within you, or you are unable to some extent to give results to the goals of your business, to the vision of your business, and to focus on the mission of the business. So I really heartily thank you all the ladies. You're looking so wonderful, such beautiful souls and such beauty queens here. Over to you, Praveen.
I think you have said everything, Jalpan. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining and sharing your views. And it was a great session. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Praveen.